So I'm guessing absolutely no one's going to talk about this, but the latest Remnant 2 update has completely broken the game for a lot of players on console, and that spreads across both Xbox and PlayStation, and is all thanks to the latest patch that's supposed to be quality of life improvement. So when I first spoke about this, they were supposed to release, they released an update on the 7th of September, and they only released it on PC because they had issues with console yet again. Because ever since this game released, there's been nothing but issues on the console. They even had it where you needed to use workarounds to invite your friends in, and that was on PlayStation. Then all of a sudden, they released an update, and I could no longer play with my friends because they were unable to join the game. And that was on PC, so they've had connectivity issues the whole time the game's been out. It's just been different for different platforms when different updates have been released. But then we get into September, a couple of weeks after they break silence, because they went silent. They did, I think it was like the first week or two, they were really, really consistent with releasing updates and getting things fixed, for PC at least, because the consoles have always been behind with this game. But then they went completely silent for a good couple of weeks, and they came back with an update for PC again, which is the one on the 7th, and they said that they were planning to release the console one the day after on Friday the 8th. And then all of a sudden they realised that they had introduced an exploit with the patch, and two weapons, the Aphelion and the Nightfall, were dealing double damage. So console never got the quality of life improvements whatsoever, and PC players got to go the entire weekend using weapons with double damage, which is obviously not going to be a problem for the player, but the developers are going to be frustrated. They're going to work to get it fixed as fast as possible, because for some reason anything that's ever had a huge increase over other things in the game have always been nerfed and essentially balanced and brought up to par with other weapons and stuff in the game. But then we get to the following week, this current week, and we get to the 11th of September on the Monday, and I put out a video saying that it's an absolute mess. They messed up with console yet again. They've added an exploit into the game where two weapons are dealing double damage, and I get people saying that I'm overreacting and stuff, even though I'm the only person that's going to talk about problems. And it gets even worse, because the update they released on the 11th, they patched out the exploit, so Nightfall and Aphelion are no longer dealing double damage. But because they also released the quality of life update for console, and they've completely broken the game. I've seen players reporting it for both Xbox and PlayStation. They cannot, players cannot, on Remnant 2, get past the login screen. They have completely somehow, through the quality of life patch or whatever, they have somehow completely busted the game to where it's actually physically unplayable on both Xbox and PlayStation. A lot of people have mentioned it on Twitter. I've had loads of comments talking about it on my previous video. And we are now at the end of Wednesday the 13th, so 2 days later, and there's not been a single word from the developers. So again, console is in the mud. PC seems to be working fine. I've not seen issues for the PC side of it. They fixed the exploit, everything's up and running on PC, but again, console players have been screwed over, which is like the 4th or 5th time with this fucking game at this point. And I don't even play on console, I'm a PC player for Remnant 2. But it's so frustrating to see it working well on one platform and other platforms are completely in the bin. It just shows that the update wasn't tested properly. It couldn't have been tested at all, because they would have found out on console that you can't get past the login screen. Some players, it's not going to affect. It's going to be a case-by-case basis. But normally when there's an issue with a patch, I see a few comments here and there of people talking about different problems, whereas this seems to be a lot of players talking about the same problem. And it's not just my video comments, it's Twitter and stuff. There's probably posts on Reddit and everything. And the developers have not said a single word about it. So on the console part, it's going to be really, really frustrating. I don't know how long the game's going to be down. And I've moaned in the past for things that are very, very small within games, like a weapon not working properly, hit regs off with a couple of weapons after an update or something like that. Whereas this has made the game completely unplayable, and it's been going on for the last 2 days for a lot of players across 2 of the 3, I'm going to say, major platforms. I'm going to say PC, Xbox and PlayStation are major platforms for this game, and 2/3 of the major platforms, the game is unplayable for a lot of players. And that's like, you cannot log in and play whatsoever. And I've seen a lot of people have tried all the different troubleshooting. They've uninstalled the game and completely reinstalled it, and it's not working. This sort of issue is unacceptable in any game out there. Whether you've paid £2 or even if you're playing a free-to-play title, it doesn't matter. This problem needs to be addressed and needs to be fixed immediately, because people are spending their money on this title that they cannot even play. This is no, oh, you're being dramatic, you're overreacting, this is a little bit over the top. This is like back to the beginning of Outriders days where the servers were not accessible for 4 straight days. You physically could not play the game that you have paid money to play. So I'm really hoping the word gets out and it gets out loud enough so that the developers can hear. And I'm really hoping the console, I mean, it's not a guarantee because there's security protocols and processes and stuff they need to do to get patches out on console. But I'm really hoping it gets fixed as soon as possible because my estimate is it's going to take them a day or two to actually fix the issue. So if they're not aware of it currently, let's say they get wind of it on Wednesday the 13th, the time of me recording this, then it could take them up until Friday to get it sorted, and then they don't release patches and stuff over the weekend. They've got to go through all the different processes and stuff on console to release the patch, so it could be the middle of next week the game starts working again, which will mean that, say for pure example, they get it fixed by Wednesday the 20th, that's a week from now, then that's going to be 9 days the game's been unplayable on console. And that's if they're working on it, if they become aware of it. If not, this could go on for weeks, if not months. Because nothing has been said. I don't know if they've got community managers and stuff looking on Twitter because they barely post anything anymore. You get the odd post about some artwork, you get the odd post about some patches and stuff. They're nowhere near as active as they was when the game first launched. So right now, console players are being completely fucking screwed over when it comes to Remnant 2. And even as a PC player, I'm going to say it's not fair, it's unacceptable, it needs to be fixed immediately. Because people are wasting their money and not being able to enjoy the experience that is Remnant 2. It's a really good game, but it's had so many problems on console ever since it released. It's had problems on PC, but they were escalated or amplified by like 10 times when it came to the console version of the game, or console versions of the game, and nothing seems to have changed within it. If I was to recommend anyone to play Remnant 2, I'd say play it on PC. If you cannot get it on PC, then don't bother buying this game. It just seems to be so shit for the console players, and even as a PC player, I feel bad for them, because I've been through the experience of my specific platform, having a game not working. I understand how frustrating it is. So fingers crossed they get it fixed, and they get it fixed very fast. Although with the processes and stuff the console updates need to go through, I can see this potentially being an issue for around a week or something like that. I don't know what these devs have planned. I don't know if they're aware of the problem. I've seen a lot of people talking, but obviously when it comes to game development and stuff and you're listening to community feedback, it seems to be the loudest voices that get heard. And I know a lot of players don't have a voice at all. They just share their opinions and it's just like an echo chamber. They're never ever heard. So hopefully with this video, the devs can catch wind, they can get it all sorted, and you console players that are having problems are able to enjoy your game again. And that is the latest news for Remnant 2. And on that note, we are going to leave the video there. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like is appreciated. If you wish to support me further as a creator, there are links in the description. Let me know your thoughts about the video in the comments. And if you want to watch more, you can click the video on screen. All support on the channel is greatly appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.